So that common refrain of I don't have time to work out.
Hmm.
How do you combat that for people?
Um,
I know that's a
Gosh,
really big question.
yeah, it is. It is a big question. I think the way that a lot of people approach that, or a lot of people, what's in people's heads when they say that is so different. But quite frankly, I don't hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear that a lot. I hear that a lot from people that are like on the on the outside. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like let's say it's a neighbor or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and they know that you exercise, and they're like, I wish I had time to do that. But when it comes to like internal and coaches talking to new clients, or you know what I mean, like current clients, I don't think that's something that we hear a lot
I would agree with
because
that.
they're there already. They've already invested in that. But I think there are. I think the bigger issue with like the time piece comes with the routine thing and the rhythm thing, where you know some coaches don't have conversations with clients on when are you going to exercise every day, or when are you going to exercise Monday, Wednesday, Friday versus Thursday, Saturday. They just kind of like give them this thing and they're like, okay, get it done, right? And when clients aren't compliant to the program, it's usually because they're like, the day just happened and I just didn't have time to get it in because I ran out of time because it wasn't a priority for me. So if that's the case, because I think that is the case a lot of the time with coaches that are working with clients and that aren't compliant, you just have to organize their day and pick that, no questions asked time that they can actually put that into their calendar where it's like, hey, this is exercise time. And, it gets a little difficult when you start working with, the entrepreneurs or the executive types because in their heads, they're just like, my job is so important. I actually can't disconnect from my job and work. Like, I can't not bring my phone and check emails. And this was that conversation that I had yesterday. It's like, do you care about yourself? And it's like, what do you mean? Yeah, of course I care about myself. It's like, what are your like, why did you hire me? What's the point? Like, what's your goal here? And you know it in the back of your head, but you just want them to say that. And they're like, well, I want to age really well. And I want to age well. I want to feel good. I want my biomarkers to be solid. And it's like, okay, then you understand that you have to care about yourself to reach your goals, right? And they're like, yeah, of course. So it's like, so when can you give yourself that 45, 60, 75 minutes of no distractions? And they're like, okay, well, I could do it here. And it's like, okay, so how are you going to ensure that there's not going to be any distractions? Like, what do you mean? It's like, how about we don't bring technology into the gym when you go into the gym? How about you don't bring your phone and you're checking Slack and you're like, oh my God, I have to put this fire out. So I'm going to kind of hurry through the rest of this session, or I'm just going to leave now and then finish it later. So yeah, I think you just come to an agreement of, when that, no nonsense time that you can actually devote to yourself is.
Yeah, I have one of those exec types, and it's definitely made improvements in consistency over the years, but it is just like a hard reality check sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a health scare
Hmm.
to realize that, if you want these things to come true, you do have to prioritize yourself. But it can be tough for people that are dealing with that corporate culture where uh, really you are only as valuable as the amount of money that you're bringing in,
Hmm.
and the time that you put in at the office is equated to that outcome, even if it's not necessarily.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think often that's just a lie that's being peddled, but maybe there's some truth inside of it.
Yeah. I think
uh,
we could challenge that though. When we're having conversations with clients, no matter where they are, with their profession, if it is someone that's working for another organization and they're like, like what I do with this organization is really important. I have to be connected. It's like you ask the question, it's like, would you give your life for that organization? You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, of course not, right? Like I don't own this thing. And it's like, okay, well, that organization would really appreciate if you did give yourself time to allow some self-care, and your organization wants you to live a long time and they want you to feel good and have really good mental health and be happy and healthy. They'd appreciate you taking this time. Or if it is the executive type or the entrepreneur type, it's a challenge of like, you're a bad executive or you're a bad entrepreneur if you can't step away from that thing for 60 minutes. and fires are happening where it's going to burn down your entire business if you're not there for 6. It's like, do you fucking sleep? So I think we could challenge it from both ends, and it's like no one is that important, right? And if you are that important, you should have people working for you that can put those fires out for you. So I think you could challenge both of those if that's the answer.
That's a tough pill to swallow, though. That last point you put out there, that no one is that important, because I think some people they do think they're that important, or at least they get caught up in telling themselves that story.
Yeah, no one is. No one is. No. No one's that important that the world or whatever can't go on for 60 minutes without them, without their attention. It's impossible. We have to sleep, right? What happens when you sleep? So yeah, but I would, even if you are important, I'm not trying to like put people down and say what you do isn't important, but if you are important and you're an executive or an entrepreneur, it's like, put systems in so you can go and do things and have time for yourself.
Yeah.